What if there was a way I could gaslight a Discord bot into sending a message with a button? And if I click on that button, the bot gives me its password. And what if that same Discord bot was used to create other Discord bots? Instead of one bot being hacked, we could have hundreds, even thousands of bots being hacked. And well, that's what happens with BotGhost, which is a platform that allows you to create your own Discord bots. Now, before I get started, I have a disclaimer. This is mainly for YouTube, by the way. This is not a hacking tutorial. It's a retrospective on how the bot got hacked. Everything I'm going to show you has been patched and has been responsibly disclosed to BotGhost. Now, whether or not BotGhost was nice about this being disclosed, you will have to see. So this is the big vulnerability that I'm going to explain and get into, but to understand what's going on, we need to take a couple of steps back. When I was told about this big zero-click vulnerability, it started off as just a simple social engineering scam. You see, what if there was a way to make a command where someone would run the command /token and it would show their Discord token? If you don't know, your Discord bot token is like a long string of text where if anyone has that long string of text, they can log into your Discord bot and do whatever they want with it, which is very dangerous, as you will see, and as I will show you later on through the video. If you could convince some stupid little Timmy to add that command to their bot, you could hack into their bot. And it turns out with BotGhost, they tried to prevent that from happening, but there's ways around it. So with BotGhost, I'm going to make a command. We're going to call it /token, so it's easy for you to understand, but if you were trying to hack into a little Timmy's Discord bot, you would call it free V-Bucks, baby. Now, BotGhost has this thing where you can send a message. If you run a / command, the bot will send a message, and if I open up the message builder here, you can see I can make the bot say whatever I want. What if I was able to just make it say its token? So I tried doing that. Now, here's the thing. There's this little clipboard thing here. These are a whole bunch of placeholders that you can use with BotGhost. Can I just search for Discord token? Now, the only thing I saw was interaction token. Horrible, not at all discreet foreshadowing. But fortunately, BotGhost had a frontal lobe activation, and they made it so that the bot couldn't send its own token. But as I was searching through the documentation, it turns out you can use token_secret. And you can only use this in a send an API request and only when you're talking to Discord's API endpoint. And this is all for security purposes, except that doesn't really work. You see, if I go back to the bot builder dashboard thing and I search for API, we can send an API request. But I'm going to go to the request builder and I'm going to send a little message to Discord. You see, I'm basically asking Discord, who am I? Tell me information about my account. Now, if I try sending this without any other information, Discord's going to be like, I don't know who you are. You have not authorized who you are. And that's why I need to add in authorization, and I need to give bot and then my Discord bot token. If I test the request, Discord will give me a whole bunch of information about my bot. I called it BotGhost meme because this whole thing is a meme. Except the information here, there's no bot token. Except if I change the method up here to patch, and then I test the request again, ladies and gentlemen, the bot token is right there. All I'm doing is I'm getting my Discord bot token inside of BotGhost. And the reason why I'm doing that is because if I click on this bot token here and I scroll up, it turns into a variable. Now, if I copy this variable, and let's say I can't send my Discord bot token normally, but what if I get it to send the value of the variable? This shouldn't work, right? We have my BotGhost meme bot, and if I run the command /token, kaboom. Now here's the thing. This exploit is really dumb because the way you would have to scam someone is that you would have to convince someone to use your command. Now I'm going to open up my Chrome console because it's important for later, but you would have to gaslight little Timmy so much with free V-Bucks that you would need to generate a share code, and you would have to convince little Timmy to go to their command builder and import your command and paste in your little code so that you could hack their bot. Or what you could do is you could post it on BotGhost's own marketplace where it shows a whole bunch of people's commands and stuff, and you could try hiding that command in like this massive web of logic that someone made. But so far, this bot hacking system is like level 1 noob. But the reason why I'm telling you about these commands is because it is like the core foundation of the bigger exploit. But I do want to point out before we get to the big exploit that this specific scam got 500 times worse. According to the gentleman nerd that contacted me, I didn't read any of this, but I saw the word hidden, which made me think, what if you could make a command that would steal people's bot token, but you could hide these blocks? And what if you put that Trojan horse command on BotGhost's own marketplace? And it turns out you can do exactly that, because remember how I was generating that share code? It will send a request to BotGhost's own server to specifically their command template endpoint. And inside of the payload, it has our command information. In fact, the command information is put in this compressed tree. Now, if I copy the value of this and I go to CyberChef and I paste it into the website, and we do two things. If I LZ string decompress it in base 64 format and I JSON beautify it, do I know what I'm talking about? no. But we use these two things to turn this whole bunch of slop into actual code here. This is my whole entire command just in this compressed format. And I'm going to modify the code a little bit. You see this send an HTTP request? What if I just, you know what? Hidden? Let's make that true, okay? Oh, send or edit a message? We're gonna make that hidden too. The title of /token, you know what? Let's just also make that hidden. Let's make nothing show up. So this is our new code, and I'm just going to undo these, and I'm going to reverse the process, and now we have a whole bunch of nonsense. And if I go back to BotGhost and I just copy this command template, and I go to my favorite program, Insomnia, if I import this request, which all it's doing is it's making one of those share codes. You can see that there's this compressed tree thing here. I'm going to copy my malicious code that's going to scam little Timmy out of his Discord bot token, and I'm just going to replace it here. Now, before I click on send, I need to change the share ID, just add some random letters to it. Why? I have no idea. I'm just going to replace the last 4 letters with poop. No, that's a little immature. Let's do ballsack instead. All right, so I click on send. It says true. Now, if I copy the share code ID and I go back to BotGhost, I'm going to import the command with ballsack at the end. And if I press import, where's the command? No text-to-speech? What happened? There ain't here, boy. It's just an error handler. It should just say that there's like an error or something. But on the right here, you can still see that it has like command settings, like the name of the command. I'm going to call it token invisible. But when I run the command, you better believe it's the exact same code. It's just invisible. And I'm not going to use the same meme again. But remember, I can put this alongside any other code that I make so that no one has any idea that I'm secretly collecting their bot tokens. This is a horrible vulnerability, by the way. Except the fact that we're not even at the worst vulnerability of them all. It's time for this command here. The way it works is simple. You basically gaslight any Discord bot made with BotGhost into sending a message where if you click on a button, the bot will just send you its Discord bot token. So to show you how this hack works, I made my own BotGhost test victim account for the YouTube employee that wants to assassinate me off the platform. I know you hate me. This is my own bot, so this shouldn't cause any problems, okay? But anyways, for any BotGhost bot, you have a whole bunch of different modules, and you just need anything where a user can input in a value. For example, there's the moderation module. The main thing we're looking for is a command where you can enter in information, and it'll show it back to you. And the note command is the best example of it. So I'm going to add a note to my account, and we're going to get to the first problem of this exploit. This is kind of ridiculous. This is like number one thing you should not do. Remember how we were looking at those basic BotGhost variables, and there was something called interaction token. Now, I'm no rocket scientist, but when I see the word token, it's probably important. In this command, I'm going to paste an interaction token. Now, the way that this should work is that the bot should sanitize user input. What that means is that when I press enter, my note should just be interaction token. This should not turn into any different text. It should just be plain text saying interaction token for the note. But if I press the enter key, this is like rule number 1, sanitize user inputs. But in this case, BotGhost is like, the f you mean, boy? We ain't doing that. Now, we have this long string of text, and we have me, stupid. So I did a little bit of perusing, Googling, because it turns out with this interaction token, you can get it to create a follow-up message. Now, the way to do that is you need to send it through the webhooks endpoint. Translation is just this really big long link. You need to put in the bot ID and the interaction token, and using that, you can send a message through the bot. And the reason why I'm showing you this whole URL is because it'll pop up in the exploit. So far, this is bad. I can use this to send a scam message to people. Click on this link for free nitro. And you might think, oh, who would fall for that? But there have been so many times where cryptocurrency Discord servers get hacked and people will put a wallet drainer, like a scam message that will take all your cryptocurrency, and people fall for it because cryptocurrency dudes are like, oh, it's coming from the real bot. I'm getting free money. I click on the link. I lost all my money. The free nitro thing seems stupid, but when it comes to crypto bros are dumber than little Timmy on Discord. Getting back on topic before I just start ranting about crypto bros. When we get the bot to send a message, we can also send a component-based message. Now, Discord components, I don't want to read. It allows us to send buttons. So now it's time to explain the command that makes this all happen. So covering up a couple parts of the command, we're going to start off with this section down here. Now, this is actually just our normal /token command. We get the Discord bot token by going to Discord's API, and then we just send it to the person who ran the command. This is through DMs instead of it just sending in in the channel because that would throw off some red flags. So far with this command, all it's doing is just, if I run funny command, it's going to send a message that has a get token button. It's the same thing I made before, just with a button instead. Wow, congratulations. I've done nothing. Except, remember with those interactions, we can send buttons. So that's the next part of this command. This long link with the webhook's application ID and interaction token, we actually turn it into a variable that you can input into the command. Basically, if I go back to Discord and I run the /funny command, it's just an option. We put in that interaction link so that we can send messages through the bot. That's all this is doing up here. But now we need to make part of the code that actually sends the message with the get token button. Now, the thing with BotGhost is that you kind of just you can't do two things at once. Like, just to show you, if I try doing these two things, it's just like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't know why. It's BotGhost. Remember, things just don't make sense. Like, why don't they sanitize user input? I don't know. So instead, what the people did is they just got the same message with the get token button and they just added another button. So now the command can do two things at once. So I'm going to keep things a little surface level because if you dig deep into the requests, there's like a whole bunch of code and stuff. You don't need to know the details because it's not going to work when this video comes out because everything gets patched before the video comes out. That's just #1 rule. But what happens next is that we run a request to get this message. We're basically saying, hey, that message with the get token button, I need it. That's all this is doing. It's just grabbing that message. And then this block here is just sending that message with the get token button through the bot using the webhook URL, the interaction URL to create a message. Now, NTTS, just shut the up and show me how this thing works. Was that my dominatrix talking to me? Yes, ma'am. So I'm going to target the test victim map and I'm going to create a note. For my note, I'm sending in discord.com/API/webhooks and I'm putting in the default variables, the basic variables of bot ID and interaction token. But now I just have it in this link format so it matches exactly what Discord has here. It just makes my life easier, okay? Now, sending that command, BotGhost is like, oh, okay, yes, I need to replace this note. I copy this link, then I go back to my test server with only the BotGhost meme bot. This is my hacker bot. Put on the Matrix soundtrack. Actually, that's copyright. Put on the Matrix overlay. And all I do is I run the command and I paste in this webhook URL and I press enter. You can either get token, which will just get the token of my bot, but we need to send the poisoned message through the other Discord bot that has the get token button. So I click on the button. You hear that? That was a Discord notification. It's not my e-girl talking to me. It's the BotGhost test victim bot saying, click this to get my token. This is the message with the get token button. And if I click on it, I said if I click on it, I definitely didn't have to the code. I did something wrong. But finally, click to get my token. And ladies and gentlemen, the bot just gave me its token. And this is even worse than you think because most BotGhost bots are vulnerable. For example, BotGhost has their own Ghost Buddy bot, which is made with BotGhost, and this is a moderation bot. Now, if I try running the note command, it doesn't exist because on my account, I'm not a moderator. So they're safe, right? No, all you have to do is just add the bot to your testing server and /note. Oh, wow, look at that. I have the exact same command that I can use to compromise the bot. Now, if we take a look at the BotGhost helper bot, this is the bot that DM'd me saying, yo, what's up? This act. If we look through the bot's commands, there's nothing that I can use. And if I click on the bot, I can't add it to my server. So how did it get compromised? What these people did is they opened up a mod mail ticket using BotGhost Helper, and inside of this link here, when they show a screenshot that doesn't work, it turns out the screenshot link contains interaction token in it, and you already know what happened next. The bot got compromised. And to make things even worse, this bot, it has the administrator permission. It has access to every single channel in BotGhost. And why is that a problem? Well, as you scroll down, there's stuff like billing logs. And since these people have access to the Discord bot token, they're able to look in the billing logs and see people's emails. Thankfully, not their billing information, but you can still have a Discord account and now you have their email. And the interesting thing is that there are Discord bots that don't even tell you that they're made with BotGhost. There's a bot called authGG, and you could just add the bot to your server and you set up the verification message as, hey, give me your interaction ID, and it'll spit it out right for you. And with that, you can get the bot token for authGG. In fact, the people that were looking at these bots and looking at the exploit, they went through a whole bunch of different Discord bots, and authGG is in 19,000 servers. Confessions, which is a bot made by one of the BotGhost mods, 1.2 thousand servers. Ghost Buddy, 3,000 servers. InfinityBot, 2.2 thousand servers. In every single one of those servers, I now have access to one of their bots, and if it's authGG or if it's Ghost Buddy, a moderation bot, chances are they have administrator, which means I can do a lot of damage. I can turn every single one of these bots into nuking bots, deleting everyone's channels in every server the bot is in and banning everyone from the server. And another thing that I showed in a video a long time ago is that if I have a Discord bot token, I can get the owner of the bot banned off Discord. The stakes here are huge. So what did BotGhost have to say about it when it got disclosed to them that this vulnerability exists? Somehow this is both a really impressive and really disappointing response from BotGhost. So initially I got the bug hunters to contact Tom, the owner of BotGhost, ghosted like me on Tinder. But after they sent a DM through the BotGhost helper bot to one of the BotGhost staff members, it got Tom's attention. In fact, when Tom replied, this vulnerability got fixed within 45 minutes, which actually is insane, by the way, because Tom is on vacation and within 45 minutes fixed it. Like, brilliant, beautiful. And just to show you, I tried running the commands. If I add a note with the interaction token, it doesn't show anything. And if you try using the /users @me endpoint to get the Discord bot token, you get an error. And to make things even better, the cherry on top is that Tom preemptively offered a bug bounty. Now, a bug bounty is not required. A company doesn't have to give you money for finding bugs. It's a nice thing to do. It's a nice gesture. It incentivizes people to responsibly disclose bugs instead of abusing them. People will pay like tens of thousands of dollars for vulnerabilities like this so they can scam crypto people. So having a company give someone money for doing the right thing is just, it's always a good thing. It's great to see. But this is where things start getting disappointing. One of the bug hunters asked, I'm wondering if this will ever be announced or if it will stay between us. And Tom said no, as it's technically a bug that the user can avoid. Now, I had two problems with this. One, the fact that Tom isn't going to tell people, and the second thing is, how can the user avoid this, right? So I reached out to Tom, but I just asked him some basic questions like, there was a zero-click vulnerability, how did it work, is that correct, how many bots were affected, and what are your plans to ensure the security of your users' bot tokens? But in terms of my question asking Tom how many bots were affected, he said that it's an extremely convoluted and specific way to get a Discord's bot token. You'd have to find a bot, like a custom mod mail system or a modal system, and you'd also have to find bots that are also not replacing variables. And his conclusion with that is, since this is so confusing and complex, that he can pretty safely say that no bots would be affected other than their own bot, BotGhost Helper. But then I gave Tom the unfortunate news. I told him that I can confirm that 8 more Discord bots, the one I showed you in that big list, were compromised, all due to this vulnerability. Which, again, my question still remains. What are BotGhost's next steps to ensure the security of all of its customers' bots? Because to explain to you why I'm so concerned about the security of every single bot is because this interaction token variable came out on December 2023. So for 1.5 years, this vulnerability existed. And Tom has made it very clear in his message that he doesn't know any other bots were compromised, even though there were bots that were compromised. So within those past 1.5 years, we don't know if there's other people on the internet that have been abusing this vulnerability for months. And in my opinion, the best course of action for this is to reset everyone's bot tokens. It's their responsibility as a platform to contact Discord and get this fixed. And when I see a message like, no, this is not going to be announced, that's where I'm concerned. But also, how is this a bug that the user can avoid? So at least if you're watching this and you have a BotGhost bot, you know exactly how to avoid any problems in the future if they do arise. Tom said that they actually do have a function called ignore variables. So remember how I put in that interaction token? If you use this function properly, the response of that note would just be interaction token, like the words. And none of this would happen, except I point out something really important to Tom. Because one thing I noticed when you go through BotGhost's own moderation module, if I go to note add, now everything are just if statements in terms of like if you have permissions, but down here, this is where the command actually works. Now, if we click on set note and we go to the value of the variable that you're setting, you can see that it's option note. This doesn't have the ignore variables function in front of it. So in BotGhost's own commands, they don't even follow their safety advice. So this is extremely ironic that they don't plan on announcing this vulnerability because it can be avoided, even though BotGhost didn't avoid it with their own default commands that everyone would use when you enable the module. So this message is really disappointing. And another disappointing thing that I kind of need to point out, unfortunately, is the fact that when I was talking to Tom made it seem like this was a problem with Discord. For some reason, Discord has an endpoint that if you send a patch request to it, you could get a Discord bot token by using the interaction token. This felt like Tom was passing off the responsibility and saying that it's not his problem, it's a Discord problem. And I talked to a handful of Discord bot developers developers and people that know Discord's API inside and out. And they told me that this is not a Discord problem. Your interaction token, you can't really do anything with it other than send messages. So it's not Discord's fault, it's BotGhost's fault. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is for two reasons. One of them is that I could be wrong with my explanation of the vulnerability. I'm not 100% right. There could be something a little bit more that I missed, something a little bit more intricate. But the second reason why I'm talking about this is that this conversation actually with Tom and I devolved into argument. We both had an inflated ego and it really went nowhere. So I can't get to the bottom of what Tom is saying and get some back end look into things because we were both arguing with each other like dumb children. But there was one good thing that happened because of this argument, because remember how Tom said that an announcement was not going to happen? Well, would you look at that? A couple hours after our argument, Tom did make an announcement telling everyone that there was a vulnerability in BotGhost. Now, did Tom change his mind because he knew I was making a video? I don't know, but I think the announcement is a bit misleading. The reason why I think this is misleading is because Tom says that this vulnerability was largely contained to bots within the server and GhostBuddy. And this just simply isn't true, because I've shown you that big list of 8 other BotGhost bots that were compromised, and I told Tom that there was 8 bots compromised. He never asked me which ones were compromised, which is a red flag to me. But in terms of this being largely contained to bots within the server, it's talking about BotGhost Helper and GhostBuddy, which are 2 out of the total 10 bots that were compromised that I know of. 2 out of 10 is not the large portion, that is the minority. And I really think this is truly downplaying the situation a little bit. And Tom gives the advice that if your bot uses modals or reflects user input, echoing messages and embeds, or mod mail systems, I like how he does highlight the mod mail system as vulnerable, but I really wish he would talk about moderation, because again, I showed you the moderation is flawed fundamentally. But Tom says that he recommends regenerating your Discord bot token as a precaution. But at the same time, I really wish that he forced people to regenerate their bot token, because again, we don't know if some random dude across the world has been scraping BotGhost bots for a couple months to launch a big attack against BotGhost. But anyways, gamers, if you use BotGhost for your own bot, just reset your bot token just to double check. I would rather be safe than sorry. And that's all about all I got. So bye-bye. I love you. Mwah.